So delighted to see all of you here. My name is Paul Chang, and on behalf of the Workshop Planning Committee and the Board of Directors, I want to welcome you to our fourth Teachers Workshop. How many of you have been here 4 times? Yeah, there's a few of you. 3 times, okay? 2 times. Okay, and the rest of you are newcomers, obviously, to our workshop. But I want to, first of all, introduce a few people. Some are former board members who are here. There's Dr. George Koo, who was a board member and a panelist from past years. You probably remember him. George is right in the back. Dr. George Koo, who's with us. And my old college friend from New York, who was on the board. He's so busy with his personal life. His daughter, I believe, got married this past weekend. Audie Chang is here with us. He, right there, stand up. And he was the auditor, I believe, financial person for the Institute for like over 25 years, so very devoted to the Institute. Say that again? Off and on. So I'm really happy. I think there will be others coming in throughout the morning, our board members. But this year, it's great to see so many of you here. And I have to say that whether you're from Belmont, just a stone's throw from here, or from Hawaii, we're very happy that you're here. The Hawaiian contingent, where are you? Raise your hands. Okay, I think we got 4 or 5, just like last year. So thank you for traveling that distance to join us. Welcome. And I can't resist, because it's a point of privilege as an MC, to give a shout out to 2 districts. The San Francisco Unified School District, I believe, is here in force. And I think the Fremont Union High School District, we got some people who are here. Why do I mention those? Well, I spent 34 years with the San Francisco schools. And then for the past 9, I've been an employee and part-time consultant for the Fremont Union High School District. And the rest of you, of course, welcome. Thank you for being here. I have to do some things that are necessary, and they are an important part of what we do every year. Before I introduce the members of the Planning Committee and, of course, the logistics and the program for today, I want to say a few words about a couple of people who are very important to us. And I think it's important that I say it in a way that is relevant, to past board members, and others. And I'm going to ask them to come up, but I'm going to say something about them. And these are 2 key leaders of our institute. They are very dynamic, 2 people who are very dynamic. In fact, they have earned the nickname the Boom Boom Girls. I don't know where that came from, but it really shows you that they are the spirit and the light of our organization. And they just came back from a trip to China with a stop in Hangzhou at Jack Ma's Alibaba-sponsored philanthropy forum. So they have really some very important and, I think, relevant things to share with you. And I think they have provided this incredible leadership, partly because they are very aggressive with their networking strategies. And they have really brought our organization to achieve new heights in the past 7 months since the 25th anniversary gala. Some of you may have been there at that gala. It was a packed gala. We had some very interesting people there, like the former ambassadors to China. So we hope to have something not like that in next January, but something that hopefully you will get information about later. Sandra, where are you? Sandra? Sandra is our chair of the board. She is a wealth creation and management expert who was born in Shanghai and was raised in Hong Kong and Ghana, attended UCLA, and she has over 30 years of executive experience in the banking and financial industry. Monica, where are you? Monica is our executive director over here. She became executive director in February 2015. And she hails from Jacksonville, Florida, right? That's pretty far. You heard that, right? Came from her mouth. She's a tech entrepreneur, venture capitalist, And she really has helped us to strengthen our institute with all kinds of business and marketing skills that we didn't have before. And her connections in Silicon Valley are very extensive. So she's been creating these speakers series, which I hope you will participate in later on. And she's really helped us to articulate all the needs that we have, particularly trying to get business professionals and educators like yourself to be more China savvy and global minded. That's what we want our students to be, and you are really our conveyor belt in trying to accomplish that in our classrooms. So I have already mentioned her name, so I'm going to ask him to come up and say a few words. Let's start with Sandra and then Monica.
Well, thank you. Good morning. 早上好 and welcome. 欢迎. So thank you so much for coming today to one of our largest teachers workshop in our brief 4-year history. The fact that you took 2 days out of your summer basically tells us something that validates what we're trying to do here. I think it's important to you that the educator and youth want to learn more about modern China, and that modern China matters in a global community. So let me say it again. Welcome to the teachers community. As Paul said, Monica and I just came back from a 12-day, 5-city tour in China. We visited some of the projects the 1990s involved with, but more importantly, we were forging relationship and setting the foundation for what we want to do as an adjunct project for the Teachers Workshop next summer, which is the Teacher Study Tour. You'll hear more about it. There's a Chinese idiom that says, 纸上谈兵. What it literally means is you can't talk theory on paper, meaning that you can't understand things just on theoretical basis without understanding the lay of the land. So in our words, we would like you to experience modern China, 体会中国, to make you a more effective educator on modern China. In the next 2 days, your mind will be filled with facts, images, humor, and balanced views about China. What you will take away is that China is a complex country. It's a country that's different from the United States. It's big, and therefore it's impactful. We, being American, must understand China. We must know how 1/5 of the world works in order for us to coexist in a global economy. We thank you again for coming to this workshop. Tell us how we can continue to improve the platform, be our ambassadors and champions, and help us build a global community for your students. 谢谢.
Good morning. I'm Monica Leigh, the Executive Director, and I just have a few thank yous to start off with. We have some wonderful foundations that have backed us, JT Tai & Co., and 2 incredible Hawaii foundations who supported our Hawaii fellowships, and that's why we continue to get some great teachers from Hawaii. The Beatrice M.H. Young Foundation and the Lynn and Ella Wong Foundation. And Margaret Lou Collins, is she in the room right now? She is our fantastic board member who has been a teacher, and she's the person who has funded our lesson plan contest, $5,000. And you'll learn about our 2nd annual contest later during this workshop. Also, we want to thank Ann Campbell and the San Mateo County Office of Education for providing this venue. And we're really excited this year to have San Francisco State University as our partner, helping provide continuing education unit credits for this workshop. Also, a huge thanks to all the hard work from our large Teachers Workshop Committee. Lucille, Alice, and many others have put in super long, hard hours. And I think those of you who are alumni who are returning, you will certainly, I think, feel the difference this year in how we facilitate our breakout sessions. We continue to have some fantastic speakers, and I think you'll get a better feel for how comprehensive our education programs now with our Youth Voices on China contest, a $30,000 contest for students and teachers, to our lesson plan contest, and Lucille and team's hard work on getting online resources for you all so you can start sharing ideas and creating great lesson plans. And I want to thank also our teacher facilitators and our teacher advisor groups who've really helped shape this curriculum and this dynamic experience that we have this year. So I'm going to be very brief. We're really excited about this trip that we went on because we have been doing the homework to create a very unique teacher study tour that we want to launch and pilot next summer. And we hope to bring many of you to rural China and show you different aspects of urban China. So my background, oops, she already advanced it. So my background has been in venture capital. And as you know, Shanghai is a super advanced, super hip, super high-tech city. And I was one of the early investors behind Match.com. But as you know, have many of you been to the People's Park in Shanghai? Great. And do you all know what this is? Okay, so you know that is the marriage market where they place ads on the umbrellas. And it's quite the blind meat market. The parents, working it for their children who are still looking for their lifelong partners. So we were surprised to see this because we hadn't, Sandra and I had not been back to Shanghai in several years. So if you can advance, there's just umbrellas lined throughout the park, and there's just parents just trying to, work deals out to get a lot of blind dates for their daughters and sons. And this is a typical ad that you might see. But you should know that these parents also post online for their children. And interestingly enough, though, they usually do it without their children's consent. But all parents worry, right? In the current situation of the imbalance of men and women in China, they're working hard. But you should know that in Shanghai, the women, I believe, outnumber the men 12-1 or 20-1. It's the reverse because they're all educated and they have a hard time finding men that they're equal or so. So anyway, they call this the, if you can forward, anyway, it was Match.com meets Farmers Market is kind of is what it's known as. So we also spent some time in rural Shanxi, where we have a microfinance program. And I'm a transportation nut and also an avid surfer, so I care about the sun and the weather, but I thought you might find this fun on how they protect themselves from the sun. And this is in Chang, and I love the tiny wheels. And then on the next slide, this is in Hangzhou. And it was not raining that day. It rained earlier, but this woman was still completely fully clothed in what is the equivalent to a city, Citibank shared bicycle. So that was really fun. So that's all I have to share with you, but we look forward to telling you more about the teacher study tour that we have on the end of tomorrow. So that's it from me. I look forward to seeing all the great collaborations and seeing some great lesson plans that come out of this workshop. So thank you all.
Monica is somebody who comes up with new ideas all the time. And so when she goes on a trip, she always brings something back for everybody. So I'm glad you shared those slides. I have to tell you something. Given the really contorted history and sensitive nature of U.S.-China relations, the 1990 Institute has had to maintain a non-political, nonpartisan posture since its founding in 1990, right after Tiananmen Square. So you need to know we're not here to be apologists or propagandize. So this is an important position I need to state for everybody, especially to newcomers who are here today, that we don't do that. We provide educational materials, and you can form your own judgment. And there's nobody, absolutely nobody, who has really helped us to be true to our mission than the chair of our workshop committee. There's Lucille Leigh, who's working so hard in the back out there answering a phone right now. But Lucille is a veteran board member for a long time with her husband, Billy. who definitely has been a contributor in past years. And she works with a very strong committee, and you saw the picture of all the folks. And her partner in crime is Dr. Alice Chang. Where's Alice? Alice Chang is right back here. She works with the facilitators, okay? And she will be coming up here later. But what's the connection between Alice and Lucille? Not only do they live very close to each other in Portola Valley, right? They were former IBM employees. She was a manager and she was a software engineer. And they all had connections in terms of New York, Harvard, and a few other places along the way in their previous years. So I just want to go on and let you know that you have some very interesting people working with the Institute. We have some things very quickly to mention. In your tote bag, all of you have this. There's a notebook for you to take notes, okay? There's also something Sandra Pang thought you ought to have. So at lunch, you have your fork and chopsticks in here. That's a little gift from her, okay? And then, of course, you got the program. And the program has everything you need to know and more. And I think you should be aware that information like the website access to, to your teaching resources and the evaluation forms for today and tomorrow is all going to be done online. You have to August the 1st to fill them out. But take notes and make sure that you submit them by August the 1st for both today and tomorrow. We really value your input. And we have, in fact, responded to your input and changed some things around just because of what you told us. It wasn't something we see as criticism. It was something you say we could do better, and thank you so much for your suggestions. And I think in particular the program, it's packed. We are so fortunate to have these exceptional speakers today, and you can hear from them. But at the end of the day, something we haven't done before, in the receptions, we have people like Jessica Bienecki. You see her bio, a social media sensation in China. She's here with us this afternoon. And then tomorrow we have Victoria Wu, who's from Tencent. So if you read the newspapers, you say, what the heck is Tencent? Well, you're going to find out some more about that and how it relates to you in terms of the classroom, teaching, the social media, WeChat. I mean, all those things you hear about, how do you make sense of that? You're going to hear from somebody who's right there, dealing with it. So I am so glad that we are able to bring you all these special features thanks to Monica.